Hi, this is James Gardner, and it's coming near Christmas, and for small cinemas it's a very difficult time because there's a lot of new films and not many sessions to put them in because we've only got a few screens and very tight policy requirements. So what are we going to select? It's a big deal. If we pick the wrong film, it could cost us a lot of money. So today I'm going to show you a tool that I use occasionally when I get into this sort of bind to help me, figure out what films I'm more likely to book over another. And I'm going to be using Google Trends. So let's have a look at it. So first of all, let's go. I'm going to actually be using a tool that I make available in Australia that maps Australian content to give us a sort of an idea of where everything falls on the timeline around Christmas. So we'll just go here. This is a timeline of all the films coming out, and we'll go towards Christmas. And here we are. This is Christmas, and the films I'm mostly interested in is this Disney film here. What else am I? Spider-Man, of course. Sing. Matrix Revolutions. And we'll also have a look at Ghostbusters. Now, I've selected those films in that order, and you'll see this button here, Google Trends. You can type this in into the Google Trends app yourself, but I like to use this tool because I just select the films I want to compare. And then I go up here and I say, go Google Trends, take me to the trends for all those films. And so they're all set out here for me already. Right? So there we go. We can now look at the web search trends for all those sort of films over the last 90 days for Australia. Usually I'll go to the worldwide trends to give me some more granular data because Australia's a bit iffy. So this then gives me, in Google Trends, you don't actually have it doesn't give you a measure, it just gives you a comparison of popularity in searches for a particular bit of content. Now, also, when I'm doing this sort of looking at these trends, there are issues that you need to be aware of. For example, this film here, that word there is actually a common word in another language. So that may be getting mixed up with the trend of that sort of word. So I'm more inclined to say, okay, let's just have a look at people looking on YouTube, because people are looking on YouTube for trailers, etc. So it'll give us an idea of a more concentrated look at what trailers with this name people are looking for, and then we can then see the comparison of the trend of the different films we're looking at, and you'll see that there's these peaks, most likely when the trailers came out or some sort of promotional part or promotional issue occurred, which caused a peak in interest by the people, so the trends went up. So now we can have a look at what films and how they compare to each other in different parts of the world, but just in general, and give us a better idea of what films are more likely to be of interest when they open up at Christmas. So you'll see here, this is the Disney film. Surprisingly, it might be, it's quite high here. If you're looking here, the 14th number there, but it could be, like I said before, being affected by the fact that the name is a common word in another language. But considering the bump there, which is most likely connected with the trailer release as well, which indicates that the data is probably quite correct, it's looking quite like it's got quite a lot of interest on a worldwide basis anyway. And the thing that really surprises me is Matrix, which I'm very excited about, is not doing very well with the interest. So unfortunately, my gut feeling would have been to put Matrix up high on my priority of showing. Due to this data, I'm probably not going to do that as much and take it later on, or later on in its run, and also sort of give me some time to see how well it's done and how much I need to show it. But in other words, though, looking at this as Spider-Man's, no-brainer. Sing 2 is also got to get those two films on screen. Ghostbusters is looking pretty good too, but that Disney one out of left field's looking quite promising indeed. So those I'm taking that on board, and it's helping me to make my decisions on what films to book and when, based on the fact that it's giving me an idea of how the marketing has been working in the world, how much it's generating people to click on the trailer, and if they're showing interest in it. And as such, when it does come out at Christmas, they'll be showing interest to see the film. So yes, that's one way to. That's a very useful tool. And when I am in a position where I'm having a hard time figuring out what films to book, especially when there's so many big films coming out all at the same time, this is a tool that I would hope you can utilize yourself to help you make decisions. Now, you can just basically click up here and type the name of the film, like here, if you wanted to change or add films in, if you're just using Google Trends without this tool to help you put the names in. So, and also just on that issue again, remember you've got the web searches and the Google searches and the news searches. So sometimes it's better to refine it to the YouTube search, because people are usually looking for videos of movies, so it's more accurate. It's not as much noise coming from other areas, but you could potentially use the other types of search to have a look to see if there's other traction in other markets. So web searches just in general, So again, it's still saying that the Disney film is actually still very, very interested there. And again, it gives you a different sort of perspective. So it's good to jump around to have a look at the different types of searches. And the other thing as well is I do go to, it is good to get granular and have a look at Australia. Of course, I'm in Australia, I'm an Australian cinema. If you're in a certain area, it'll give you more of an indication of those films in your particular region. So looking at this, it's not, you can't really tell as easily when you're looking on a worldwide basis, because the data is not as much data there. It's a bit spiky, not very level, but you can really see like what's more colors of, and you can look down here. So you'll see here, Sing is doing very well in the different states, and then you can have a look at what other films are also looking. Spider-Man and Sing, like I said before, those are still two of the films that you really want to get your hands on. And Ghostbusters is showing some good legs as well. So yes, there you go. You can even get down to state if you want, up the top here. New South. There we go. Australia, New South Wales. Obviously the data will be again cut down more, but again it can gives us an idea. There's not enough data to give a full sort of rundown, but it gives us an idea still if the data is holding strong for your particular region. But anyway, that's a nice little tool to help you make the best decision, an informed decision, to maximize your profitability over a very busy period like the holiday season, where there's too many films and not enough sessions. Bye from now, from James Gardner, the Cinetech Geek.